Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We will talk about how to react appropriately and potential indicators that a jinn is present in your house. Whether you're looking to comprehend these occurrences or find spiritual treatments, remember that knowledge, faith, and a calm mind are your biggest allies. Let us approach this fascinating subject with an open mind and a firm resolve. 1. Unexplained shadows or figures. It can be eerie to catch glimpses of individuals or shadows out of the corner of your eye, especially if they disappear as soon as you attempt to focus on them. These shadows are frequently reported as having an animal or humanoid figure, and they move quickly and erratically. Many people attribute these sightings to tricks of the mind, but in folklore, they are commonly linked to supernatural entities, including jinn. The feeling of unease that accompanies these sightings can be hard to shake, leaving you questioning whether what you saw was real or imagined. Such events frequently take place at night or in poorly lit settings, which some people think is when the barrier separating the jinn and human worlds is thinner. It is said to be a more powerful sign of something out of the ordinary to see these figures in the middle of the day. The fleeting nature of these sightings often makes them difficult to prove or explain logically. People who experience this repeatedly may find themselves doubting their own perception. But it's important to note that such phenomena have been reported for centuries in various cultures. The sense of unease that comes with these sightings isn't just visual. Many report a simultaneous chilling sensation or a sense of being watched. This heightened awareness can be accompanied by a fight or flight response, even in the absence of an apparent threat. The body's instinctive reaction to these sightings often suggests that they trigger a deeper, primal fear. In folklore, this fear is seen as a natural response to encountering something otherworldly. Reports of these shadows or figures appearing near doorways, corners, or windows are particularly common. These locations are often considered liminal spaces, areas where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds are thought to overlap. The sudden appearance and disappearance of such figures can feel like a deliberate act, as if the entity wants to be noticed but not fully seen. This ambiguity adds to the unnerving nature of the experience. People who have encountered these shadows often describe them as darker than the surrounding darkness, giving them a distinct, almost tangible presence. This description aligns with traditional accounts of jinn, which are often depicted as beings that can manipulate light and darkness. The stark contrast of these figures against their environment makes them even more striking and difficult to dismiss as mere optical illusions. In some cases, these figures appear to be observing rather than interacting. The lack of direct engagement can make their presence feel even more ominous, as though they are studying the environment or the people within it. This behavior has been linked in folklore to jinn, who are believed to be curious beings that can choose to remain hidden or partially visible. While many accounts describe these figures as silent, there are reports of faint noises accompanying their appearances. These sounds, often described as whispers, rustling, or faint footsteps, add another layer of eeriness to the experience. The combination of visual and auditory phenomena can make the presence of these shadows feel undeniably real to those who encounter them. The duration of these sightings is usually brief, often lasting only a few seconds. This fleeting nature contributes to the difficulty of capturing or documenting them. Attempts to take photos or videos of such occurrences rarely yield clear results, which skeptics use as evidence against their existence. However, believers argue that the supernatural nature of these entities allows them to evade detection by conventional means. Individuals who experience these sightings repeatedly may notice patterns in their occurrences. For example, the shadows might appear at specific times of the day or in certain rooms of the house. These patterns can create a sense of dread or anticipation as the individual becomes increasingly aware of the entity's presence. In some cases, this awareness can escalate into a full-blown fear of being alone in the affected areas. The psychological impact of witnessing such shadows can be profound. Even if the experiences are brief, the lingering fear and confusion can disrupt daily life. People may avoid certain parts of their homes, sleep with the lights on, or seek comfort in the presence of others. The inability to find a rational explanation for these sightings can make the experience feel isolating and unsettling. In spiritual traditions that acknowledge the existence of Jinn, these sightings are often interpreted as an attempt by the entity to make its presence known. The reasons for this can vary widely, ranging from curiosity to a desire to instill fear. Understanding the possible motivations behind such appearances requires delving into the broader context of Jinn lore, which portrays them as complex beings with their own emotions and intentions. Some cultures believe that Jinn have the ability to attach themselves to certain individuals or families. This attachment can manifest in repeated sightings or other unexplained phenomena. The idea of being targeted by a Jinn can amplify the fear associated with these sightings, as it suggests a more persistent and personal form of interaction. Efforts to address these experiences often involve spiritual or religious practices. Reciting prayers, burning incense, or performing rituals are common methods used to cleanse a space of negative energy or unwanted entities. While these practices may not always provide immediate relief, they can offer a sense of control and comfort to those who feel vulnerable to such encounters. Skeptics argue that these sightings can be explained by natural causes, such as shadows cast by objects, eye strain, or neurological phenomena like peripheral vision illusions. While these explanations may account for some cases, they often fail to address the emotional and physical sensations reported by witnesses. The consistency of these accounts across cultures and time periods lends credibility to the belief that something beyond the ordinary may be at play. For those who believe in the existence of Jinn, the appearance of these shadows serves as a reminder of the unseen world that exists alongside our own. Whether interpreted as a warning, a test, or a simple display of curiosity, these sightings challenge our understanding of reality and encourage us to remain vigilant in the face of the unknown. 2. Strange sounds. One of the most disturbing indicators of a potential Jinn presence is strange noises. These sounds can be anything from soft murmurs or whispers to clear laughing or voices that do not seem to be coming from anywhere. Often, these noises occur when you're alone or during quiet moments, making them even more disconcerting. Many people report hearing footsteps in empty hallways, objects being moved in another room, or even the sound of someone breathing nearby. Such occurrences can make you feel like you're not alone, even in your own home, heightening the sense of unease and mystery. The noises can occasionally become more than murmurs or whispers and can cause physical disruptions. Finding nothing broken after hearing noises like glass breaking, furniture creaking, or hammering on walls might be unsettling. These auditory anomalies often occur late at night when the environment is calm and background noise is minimal, making the disturbances even more pronounced. The randomness of these sounds can make it difficult to explain them away as simple household noises or natural occurrences. A recurring element in many accounts of supernatural experiences, including Jinn encounters, is the presence of unexplained odors. These smells can appear suddenly and without any identifiable source. Some describe the scent as pleasant, like intense flowers or perfume, while others report foul, sulfuric, or burning odors. These smells often linger in the air momentarily and then vanish as abruptly as they appeared. In some cultures, it is believed that the type of smell can give clues about the nature or intent of the Jinn, with pleasant scents indicating neutrality or friendliness, and foul smells signaling malice or anger. The presence of Jinn is also thought to cause disruptions to electrical devices, such as lights flickering, appliances malfunctioning, or televisions and radios turning on or off without human intervention. These disturbances are particularly creepy because they defy logical explanations, especially when the devices in question are otherwise in good working condition. Sudden power surges, bulbs blowing out repeatedly, or electronic devices behaving erratically could all be signs of a Jinn's influence, according to folklore. Such occurrences often leave the inhabitants of the house feeling uneasy and powerless to understand what's happening. One of the more mischievous behaviors attributed to Jinn is the movement or disappearance of household objects. Keys, jewelry, or even books may vanish from their usual places, only to reappear later in strange or unexpected locations. This phenomenon, often called displacement activity, is particularly frustrating because it makes people doubt their memory or sense of order. In some cases, these objects are never found again, leading to speculation that the Jinn may have taken them as a way to play tricks or assert their presence in the house. Unexplained fatigue, illnesses, or recurring feelings of heaviness can also be attributed to Jinn interference in many cultural traditions. People living in spaces where Jinn activity is suspected often report feeling unusually drained, even after a full night's sleep. This sensation is often accompanied by vivid nightmares or a persistent sense of unease that lingers throughout the day. In some cases, physical symptoms like headaches, dizziness, or unexplained aches and pains are also reported, further deepening the mystery of their origin. Animals are believed to have a heightened sensitivity to unseen forces, and their unusual behavior is often taken as a sign of supernatural presence. A cat staring intently at an empty corner of the room, a dog barking or whining at seemingly nothing, or a bird becoming agitated without any visible cause, can all be interpreted as reactions to something humans cannot perceive. These behaviors are particularly chilling when they occur in conjunction with other unexplained phenomena, reinforcing the belief that an invisible entity might be sharing the space. The unsettling sensation of being watched, even when no one else is around, is another common sign linked to Jinn activity. This feeling often occurs in specific areas of the house, such as a certain room or corner, and can make those spaces feel uninviting or oppressive. Some individuals also report feeling a light touch, like a hand brushing against their skin or a tap on the shoulder, without anyone nearby. These sensations can escalate to more intense experiences, such as being physically pushed or pulled, which are particularly frightening. Temperature changes are another phenomenon that can be associated with Jinn. Cold spots, where the air feels significantly cooler than the surrounding area, are often reported in haunted or supernaturally charged locations. Conversely, some people experience hot spots, where the temperature rises inexplicably. These changes often occur in localized areas and cannot be attributed to drafts, heating systems, or other logical sources, adding to their mysterious nature. The sudden shift in temperature is thought to signify the presence of an otherworldly entity. Sleep paralysis, a condition where a person is unable to move or speak while waking up or falling asleep, is often linked to Jinn in folklore. Many people who experience sleep paralysis report feeling an oppressive weight on their chest or seeing shadowy figures in the room. In some traditions, this is interpreted as a Jinn attempting to interact or even harm the sleeper. The fear and helplessness that accompany these episodes make them some of the most terrifying experiences attributed to supernatural activity. In addition to physical signs, psychological disturbances like recurring nightmares or feelings of intense fear without any apparent reason can also point to a Jinn's presence. These dreams often involve dark, menacing figures or scenarios that feel overwhelmingly real. Upon waking, the dreamer may feel disoriented, anxious, or even physically exhausted, as though they've been engaged in a struggle or battle during their sleep. Such dreams are often dismissed as the result of stress or overactive imagination. But in some cultures, they are taken very seriously. Certain cultural and religious traditions emphasize the importance of rituals and prayers to protect against Jinn. For those who suspect they are dealing with a Jinn, engaging in spiritual practices such as reciting specific verses, using protective amulets, or seeking guidance from a knowledgeable spiritual leader is often recommended. These practices are believed to create an environment that is inhospitable to Jinn, encouraging them to leave the space peacefully. Without intervention, the disturbances are thought to persist or even escalate over time. It's essential to remember that many of these phenomena can have logical, non-supernatural explanations. Strange noises might result from settling wood, electrical disturbances from faulty wiring, and misplaced objects from simple, absent-mindedness. However, when multiple signs occur together and defy rational explanations, they may lead to speculation about Jinn. For those who believe in their existence, these signs serve as a reminder of the unseen forces that might inhabit our world alongside us. Ultimately, whether or not you believe in Jinn, the experiences attributed to them highlight the human tendency to seek meaning in the unexplained. These signs, though chilling, often serve as a way for people to make sense of unsettling or mysterious occurrences in their lives. They also underscore the universal human fascination with the unknown and the enduring power of stories and beliefs passed down through generations. 3. Unusual odors. It might be unpleasant when strong, inexplicable smells suddenly start to appear in your house. Because they appear suddenly and have no discernible source, these smells frequently challenge rational explanations. In many traditions, the presence of a jinn is believed to manifest through distinctive scents, often tied to the nature of the entity itself. Some of these smells are described as pungent or sulfuric, resembling burnt rubber or rotting eggs, evoking an immediate sense of discomfort or even fear. This is particularly true in cases where such odors are accompanied by other unexplained phenomena, such as strange sounds or disturbances in the environment. On the other hand, some odors associated with jinn are described as strangely pleasant, yet overwhelmingly intense, like the scent of exotic flowers or sweet perfumes. These smells might seem welcoming at first, but can quickly become oppressive, lingering far longer than natural scents should. People who encounter such fragrances often report a feeling of unease, as if the scent carries a hidden, sinister presence. The suddenness and intensity of these odors can make them hard to ignore, especially when they occur in areas where no source for such smells exists. The phenomenon of unexplained smells is not limited to a single cultural interpretation. In Islamic traditions, for instance, the jinn are believed to inhabit unseen realms and occasionally interact with the human world, often leaving subtle signs of their presence. The type of odor encountered is sometimes thought to reflect the jinn's mood or intent. A harsh, acrid smell may indicate anger or hostility, while a sweeter scent might suggest curiosity or even deceit. The variability in these odors adds an extra layer of mystery and apprehension, as it becomes difficult to discern the nature of the presence based solely on smell. In some cases, individuals have reported that these odors seem to follow them from room to room or even persist outdoors. This mobility is particularly unsettling, as it suggests the source of the smell is not confined to a specific location. Such experiences can leave individuals feeling as though they are being monitored or followed, heightening their sense of vulnerability. Even attempts to mask or eliminate the smell often prove futile, as it tends to return unpredictably, further deepening the sense of unease. Unexplained odors can also manifest during specific times of the day or night, adding to their eerie quality. Many reports indicate that these smells are most noticeable during the late hours when the environment is quiet and distractions are minimal. This timing has led some to speculate that jinn are more active at night, a belief supported by various cultural narratives. The nocturnal nature of these encounters amplifies their unsettling impact, as the stillness of the night makes the odors seem more pronounced and their source more elusive. In homes where these odors persist, residents often report feeling an oppressive atmosphere, as though the air itself has become heavy or charged. This sensation is sometimes accompanied by physical symptoms such as nausea, headaches, or dizziness, further suggesting that the odors are more than just a sensory anomaly. The combination of these effects can leave individuals feeling drained and anxious, creating a tense living environment that is difficult to escape. Interestingly, these odors often seem to emerge in specific areas of the house, such as basements, attics, or corners that are rarely used. These locations are often associated with a lack of natural light or airflow, which could contribute to the eerie ambiance. However, the sudden appearance of strong scents in these spaces often defies logical explanations. Attempts to investigate the source, such as checking for leaks, mold, or hidden objects, typically yield no results, leaving the mystery unresolved. Some individuals who have experienced these phenomena describe an almost instinctive fear or aversion to the affected areas. This reaction may stem from a primal awareness of danger, as the presence of an unfamiliar odor often signals a potential threat in the natural world. In the context of Jinn, this instinctive response could be seen as a protective mechanism, urging individuals to steer clear of potentially harmful entities. Ignoring such warnings might lead to further disturbances or even direct encounters with the unknown. In certain cases, the odors are reported to coincide with other supernatural phenomena, such as strange noises, flickering lights, or unexplained movements. This convergence of events strengthens the belief that the odors are a manifestation of Jinn activity rather than a mundane occurrence. The interplay between these phenomena creates a multi-sensory experience that is difficult to dismiss, forcing individuals to confront the possibility of an otherworldly presence. Those who have lived with such disturbances often report a gradual change in their perception of the odors. What initially seemed like a fleeting anomaly can become a persistent and defining feature of their environment. Over time, this can lead to a heightened sensitivity to smells, with individuals becoming hyper-aware of any scent that seems out of place. This heightened awareness can contribute to a cycle of fear and vigilance, making it increasingly difficult to live comfortably in the affected space. Efforts to cleanse the environment, such as using incense, sage, or other spiritual remedies, are often met with mixed results. In some cases, the odors dissipate temporarily, only to return with greater intensity. This cyclical pattern can lead to feelings of frustration and helplessness as individuals struggle to regain control over their living space. Such experiences often prompt them to seek outside help, whether from religious leaders, spiritual practitioners, or paranormal investigators. While unexplained odors are a widely reported phenomenon, their subjective nature makes them difficult to study or verify. Unlike visual or auditory phenomena, smells cannot be captured or recorded, making it challenging to provide concrete evidence of their existence. This lack of tangible proof can lead to skepticism, even among those who have personally experienced the phenomenon. Nevertheless, the profound impact these odors have on individuals and their environments cannot be easily dismissed. Ultimately, the appearance of unexplained odors serves as a reminder of the mysteries that still surround us. Whether attributed to Jinn, spirits, or psychological factors, these experiences challenge our understanding of reality and the boundaries of human perception. For those who encounter such phenomena, the key lies in approaching the situation with an open mind and a willingness to explore both natural and supernatural explanations. 4. Electrical disturbances. Many people believe that electrical disturbances in the home, like flickering lights or broken appliances, are an indication of Jinn activity. Lights dimming briefly or gadgets behaving strangely are examples of subtle beginnings for these disruptions, which can develop into more obvious occurrences. For example, lights may flicker violently, appliances might turn on and off by themselves, or televisions could switch channels without human intervention. While these events could be attributed to faulty wiring or technical issues, their persistence and timing often lead people to suspect something supernatural. One unsettling aspect of these disturbances is their unpredictability. They tend to happen in moments of quiet or solitude, making them even more unnerving. Imagine sitting alone in a room when suddenly the light flickers or the radio begins to play static. This randomness creates a sense of vulnerability, as it feels as though the disturbances are targeted and intentional. Such incidents are particularly alarming at night when the house is quiet and every unexpected sound or flicker is amplified in the stillness. Another common feature of these disturbances is their ability to affect a wide range of devices simultaneously. It's not just one light or appliance acting up. An entire room's electronics might seem to malfunction in unison. This phenomenon leads many to believe that it isn't a mechanical issue, but a sign of an unseen presence manipulating the environment. Such synchronized disturbances are especially eerie, as they create a sense of orchestration, as if the entity is deliberately seeking attention. Adding to the strangeness is the fact that these events often defy logical explanation. Electricians might inspect the home and find no issues with the wiring, or devices might work perfectly fine once taken out of the affected area. This lack of a rational cause further fuels the belief that something supernatural is at play. The unexplained nature of these disturbances leaves residents feeling helpless and uneasy, as there seems to be no way to predict or control the occurrences. In some cases, the disturbances seem to correspond to the emotional state of those in the home. For instance, heightened stress or fear might coincide with an increase in flickering lights or malfunctioning devices. This connection leads some to speculate that Jinn are drawn to intense emotions and use these disturbances to amplify the anxiety of the household. The idea that the entity is feeding off fear adds a psychological layer to the already unsettling experiences. Interestingly, there are cultural and religious explanations for why Jinn might choose to manifest through electrical disturbances. In many traditions, it is believed that Jinn exist in a realm of energy and vibration, making electronic devices an easy medium for their presence to be felt. This perspective suggests that the disturbances are not random, but a deliberate means of communication or intimidation by the entity. Such interpretations add a deeper significance to the seemingly mundane flickering of a light or the static of a television. Residents experiencing these disturbances often report a growing sense of dread over time. Initially, the events might be dismissed as coincidence or technical issues, but as they become more frequent and intense, they can create a pervasive atmosphere of unease. The feeling of not being alone, combined with the inability to prevent or stop the disturbances, takes a toll on the mental well-being of those affected. The home, which should be a place of safety and comfort, becomes a source of fear and anxiety. What makes these incidents even more distressing is their ability to disrupt daily life. Simple tasks like reading, watching television, or even sleeping can become fraught with tension due to the possibility of another disturbance. Over time, this disruption can lead to a sense of isolation, as those affected may hesitate to invite guests or discuss their experiences for fear of being ridiculed. The ongoing disturbances create a sense of living under siege, where normalcy feels increasingly out of reach. For those who believe in the supernatural, these electrical disturbances are often seen as a warning or sign of the Jinn's displeasure. They may interpret the events as a call to action, prompting them to seek spiritual guidance or perform cleansing rituals to remove the entity from their home. Whether or not these measures succeed, they often provide a sense of empowerment, giving the residents a way to reclaim their space from the unseen force. However, the effectiveness of such remedies varies, and in some cases, the disturbances continue despite repeated efforts to address them. Ultimately, the experience of electrical disturbances attributed to Jinn is both mysterious and deeply personal. While skeptics may argue for natural explanations, those who live through these events often describe a profound sense of unease that goes beyond faulty electronics. The combination of unpredictability, emotional impact, and cultural significance makes these disturbances one of the most unsettling signs of potential supernatural activity in a home. 5. Disappearing or moved objects. Objects disappearing or being moved without explanation is a phenomenon often associated with supernatural occurrences, including the presence of Jinn. People who experience this may notice their belongings vanishing from familiar places, only to reappear in odd or unexpected locations later. For instance, a pair of keys left on a table might be found inside a drawer or in a completely different room, even though no one else has touched them. This kind of activity can feel disorienting and frustrating, leaving individuals questioning their memory or the logic of events. Such disturbances are not limited to small or commonly misplaced items. Larger or more noticeable objects, like furniture, might be subtly shifted or completely repositioned. People sometimes wake up to find chairs moved away from tables, books stacked differently, or doors inexplicably opened or closed. The strange part is that these changes often occur without any noise or apparent cause, adding to the unsettling nature of the experience. Those who live in homes where this happens frequently may begin to feel like their space is being manipulated by an unseen force. It's not just the inconvenience, but also the eerie sense that someone or something is actively interfering with their daily life. The inability to pinpoint a reason or culprit can make the environment feel increasingly unfamiliar and threatening. In many cultures, such behavior is attributed to Jinn, especially those described as mischievous or playful. These entities are thought to enjoy confusing humans by interfering with their belongings. While the activity may initially seem harmless or even amusing, it can escalate, leading to heightened anxiety for those affected. Over time, people may find themselves constantly second-guessing their surroundings, unsure if an item is truly missing or if it's just a trick of their mind. For some, these occurrences are accompanied by a feeling of being watched, which can intensify the sense of vulnerability. The connection between the moved objects and the presence of an observer is often difficult to ignore. This creates a psychological burden as people struggle to maintain a sense of normalcy in a home that no longer feels like a safe haven. There are also instances where the activity seems targeted, with specific items being affected repeatedly. A person's favorite book might consistently go missing, or an object of sentimental value may be found moved or tampered with. This apparent focus on certain items can make the activity feel personal, as though the unseen force is deliberately trying to provoke a reaction or make its presence known. Some individuals attempt to rationalize the events, attributing them to forgetfulness or the actions of other household members. However, as the frequency or intensity of the occurrences grows, it becomes harder to explain away. This often leads to a tipping point where people start to seriously consider supernatural explanations or seek help from spiritual or religious sources. In cases where the activity is ongoing, people may resort to various protective measures, such as prayers, charms, or cleansing rituals. The goal is often to reclaim a sense of control over their space and to discourage further interference. The effectiveness of these measures can vary, but they often provide a psychological comfort, helping individuals feel empowered against an unseen force. On a deeper level, these experiences challenge one's perception of reality and the boundaries of the physical world. They provoke questions about the existence of unseen entities and their ability to interact with humans. Whether one believes in Jinn or not, such occurrences leave a lasting impression, reshaping how people view their environment and their understanding of the unknown. Ultimately, the phenomenon of disappearing or moved objects serves as a stark reminder of how vulnerable we can feel when faced with events that defy logic. It underscores the complex interplay between the physical and metaphysical worlds, leaving those who experience it with a profound sense of wonder and unease. 6. Unexplained illnesses or fatigue. A sudden onset of unexplained illnesses or fatigue can be unsettling and is often attributed to supernatural interference in various cultural beliefs. This might manifest as persistent headaches, dizziness, or general malaise that doesn't respond to medical treatment. The effects can be physical or emotional, creating an oppressive environment where you feel drained of energy for no apparent reason. Nightmares, particularly recurring ones with disturbing or vivid imagery, can also accompany these symptoms. They may leave you feeling heavy or restless upon waking, as if something is weighing you down during sleep. The connection between these symptoms and a Jinn presence is rooted in the idea that such entities can disrupt a person's natural balance or harmony. Animals are said to have heightened senses that allow them to perceive things humans cannot. If your pet suddenly starts acting fearfully, barking or hissing at unseen entities, or refuses to enter certain rooms, it might indicate they sense something unusual. Birds might flutter nervously in their cages, or dogs could bark incessantly at empty spaces. Such behaviors are often dismissed as quirks but can carry deeper meanings in folklore. If this happens consistently in specific areas of your home, it might be worth observing their reactions more closely. The sensation of being watched can be deeply unsettling, especially when you are alone. It may feel like someone's eyes are following your movements, even in an empty room. Some people report feeling an invisible presence standing close by or brushing against them lightly. This feeling might occur more strongly in certain parts of the house, particularly during nighttime or in dimly lit areas. The inexplicable sensation of being touched, such as a light tap on the shoulder or a tug on your clothing, can further heighten the fear and confusion. Temperature changes that defy logical explanation are another common sign. Walking into a room and feeling an immediate drop or rise in temperature, despite no alterations in heating or cooling systems, might indicate something otherworldly. This phenomenon is often localized, with one corner of a room feeling significantly colder or warmer than the rest of the space. Such temperature fluctuations are sometimes accompanied by a sense of unease, as though the air is heavier or charged with energy. Sleep paralysis is a particularly frightening experience where a person wakes up unable to move or speak. This state is often accompanied by a sense of dread or the feeling that something is pressing down on them. People frequently report seeing shadowy figures or feeling an unseen force in the room during these episodes. In cultural contexts, sleep paralysis is sometimes interpreted as a jinn attempting to communicate or exert influence. The fear and helplessness felt during such moments can linger long after the episode ends, adding to the overall sense of unease in the household. 7. Animals acting strangely. Animals acting strangely without any apparent cause has long been associated with the presence of supernatural entities, including jinn, in cultural lore. Pets such as cats, dogs, and birds are often believed to possess heightened senses, enabling them to detect energies or presences that humans cannot perceive. This sensitivity can manifest in unusual behavior, such as staring intently at seemingly empty corners, growling, barking, or hissing without any visible stimulus. In some cases, animals might appear unnerved, refusing to enter certain areas of the home or becoming overly anxious or distressed for no clear reason. These behaviors are often taken as indicators that the animal is reacting to something unseen. For example, a dog that normally sleeps peacefully through the night might suddenly begin barking uncontrollably at odd hours, focusing on a particular spot in the house. Similarly, a cat might fix its gaze on an empty part of a room, its ears twitching and body tense, as if it is tracking something invisible. Birds, too, can exhibit this sensitivity, with some becoming restless or even refusing to stay in their cages in a specific location. Such changes in behavior can be particularly unsettling for pet owners, as they often seem to arise without warning and defy logical explanation. These occurrences can be even more eerie when paired with other unusual phenomena in the home. For instance, a dog barking at a corner might coincide with unexplained noises, such as knocks or creaks, emanating from that very area. In some instances, animals might appear to be physically affected, trembling, or backing away, suggesting they feel threatened or intimidated. This can lead owners to question whether their pets are detecting the presence of a jinn or some other entity. Some pet owners report that their animals' reactions seem to align with times of heightened activity in the home, such as objects moving on their own or unexplained cold spots. This synchronicity deepens the sense of unease and reinforces the belief that the animal is perceiving something unnatural. Even skeptics who dismiss other signs of jinn presence might find it difficult to ignore their pet's peculiar behavior, as animals are generally thought to act on instinct rather than imagination. In many cultures, animals' reactions are not only seen as indicators, but also as potential protective measures against supernatural forces. Dogs, for instance, are thought to bark at unseen entities as a way of warning their owners or warding off negative energies. Cats, on the other hand, are sometimes believed to be spiritually attuned creatures that can serve as a barrier against harmful forces. When these protective instincts are triggered, it can serve as a call to action for the homeowner to take steps to address the potential presence of a jinn. The reaction of animals to jinn or other unseen entities can vary depending on the animal's personality, breed, or even past experiences. While some pets might become aggressive or territorial, Others might cower or hide, avoiding the area entirely. This variability can make it challenging for owners to determine whether the behavior is supernatural in origin or simply a quirk of the animal's temperament. Nonetheless, the persistence and intensity of the behavior are often taken as key clues. When faced with such situations, some pet owners choose to consult veterinarians to rule out medical or psychological issues that might be affecting their animals. However, when no physical cause is found, the focus often shifts back to the possibility of a supernatural explanation. At this point, many individuals turn to spiritual remedies such as reciting prayers, burning incense, or seeking the assistance of a spiritual practitioner to cleanse the space. In households where the presence of Jinn is strongly suspected, the bond between the pet and its owner can become even more significant. Pets are often viewed as both companions and protectors, and their reactions can influence how seriously a family takes the idea of a supernatural presence. For some, the loyalty and intuition of their pets provide comfort and reassurance during unsettling times, while for others, the animal's reactions amplify their fears. The cultural interpretation of animals' sensitivity to Jinn varies widely, with some traditions emphasizing the protective role of animals, while others caution against relying too heavily on their behavior as definitive proof. Regardless, the belief that animals can sense Jinn persists across many societies, shaping how people respond to these mysterious occurrences. Observing an animal's reactions to its surroundings, particularly in a home with suspected paranormal activity, often becomes a crucial aspect of identifying and addressing the issue. Whether or not the connection between animals and Jinn is accepted as fact, it is undeniable that pets can sense changes in their environment in ways humans cannot. These abilities, whether natural or supernatural, make them valuable allies in uncovering the mysteries of their surroundings. The peculiar behavior of animals in such scenarios often serves as a powerful reminder of the unseen forces that might exist just beyond the realm of human perception. 8. Feeling watched or touched. A persistent sensation of being watched or touched when no one else is around is a deeply unsettling experience that many cultures associate with supernatural entities like Jinn. This feeling often starts subtly, like a tingling sensation on your skin or a vague sense of unease, as though someone is standing just behind you. Over time, it can intensify, leaving individuals feeling genuinely threatened or unsafe in their own homes. This experience is particularly unnerving because it defies rational explanation and often occurs in places where one should feel the most secure. In some cases, people describe the sensation as a light pressure, as though an invisible hand has brushed against them or rested gently on their shoulder. This touch might be fleeting or prolonged, and it can occur without any apparent reason. What makes this phenomenon even more alarming is its unpredictability. It can happen in broad daylight or the dead of night, while sitting still or moving around, which adds to the disorientation and fear it creates. The sensation of being watched is equally disturbing. Many describe it as an instinctual feeling, as though their subconscious is picking up on a presence that their conscious mind cannot see. It might be strongest in certain parts of the house, such as a dimly lit hallway, an attic, or even a bedroom corner. Sometimes this feeling is accompanied by physical signs, like the hairs on the back of your neck standing up, or a sudden, inexplicable chill. These experiences are often dismissed as paranoia or overactive imagination, but they can leave a lasting impact on a person's mental and emotional state. Constantly feeling observed can lead to heightened anxiety and an inability to relax, especially in what should be the safety of one's own home. For some, the fear becomes so overwhelming that they avoid certain areas of the house entirely, or even consider moving to escape the oppressive sensation. The psychological toll of these experiences cannot be understated. When someone feels watched or touched by an unseen entity, it can lead to sleep disturbances, heightened stress, and even paranoia. Over time, this can evolve into a deep-seated fear that colors every aspect of their daily life. Simple tasks like walking to the kitchen at night or sitting alone in a quiet room become daunting challenges. In more extreme cases, the sensation of being touched may escalate from light brushes to more forceful interactions. People have reported feeling pushed, grabbed, or even pinched by an invisible force. These incidents can be so jarring that they leave physical marks, such as bruises or scratches, which adds a layer of physical evidence to an already terrifying experience. Compounding the fear is the fact that these sensations often seem targeted. They might occur when a person is alone or when they are most vulnerable, such as while they are lying in bed or in the shower. This targeted nature makes it difficult to attribute the phenomena to random environmental factors, deepening the belief that an intelligent entity is at work. Many who experience these sensations struggle to find a logical explanation. They might rule out drafts, static electricity, or the creaks and groans of an old house. Yet the feelings persist. The lack of a clear cause can drive some to seek answers in folklore, spiritual beliefs, or even scientific theories about energy fields and human perception. For those who believe in the supernatural, the sensations of being watched or touched might be interpreted as a jinn attempting to make its presence known. According to some traditions, jinn are capable of interacting with humans in subtle and physical ways, using touch as a means of communication or intimidation. This belief can heighten the fear, as it adds an element of intentionality to the experience. Others might interpret these sensations as a warning or a sign of something deeper, such as negative energy or unresolved issues within the home. This perspective often leads individuals to seek spiritual cleansing rituals or the guidance of a religious figure. These actions can provide a sense of control, even if the source of the sensations remains unclear. The phenomenon of feeling watched or touched is not limited to any specific culture or belief system. It is a universal experience that has been documented across time and geography, often attributed to different supernatural beings depending on the local folklore. This widespread occurrence suggests that there may be more to these sensations than mere imagination. Regardless of the explanation, these experiences are profoundly unsettling and can have a significant impact on a person's quality of life. They challenge the boundaries of what is considered real and force individuals to confront the unknown. Whether the source is supernatural or psychological, the sensation of being watched or touched leaves an indelible mark on those who experience it, shaping their perception of the world around them. 9. Temperature changes. Experiencing sudden and unexplained temperature changes in your home can be a deeply unsettling phenomenon, often linked to paranormal activity and folklore. A room that is consistently warm might suddenly feel icy cold, or an area of the house that should be cool might develop an intense, oppressive heat. These shifts can occur without any logical explanation, even when heating or cooling systems are functioning normally. In some cases, these temperature anomalies are isolated to specific spots, such as a particular corner of a room, a hallway, or near a piece of furniture, leaving the rest of the area unaffected. Such occurrences are said to be a hallmark of supernatural entities, including Jinn, making their presence known. These temperature changes might be felt most acutely during the night when the household is quiet and still. Many people report waking up to an inexplicably cold room despite having their windows closed or heating on. Conversely, a sudden, suffocating heat might envelop a person, accompanied by a sense of unease or dread. These changes often coincide with other unusual experiences, such as strange noises, disembodied voices, or a feeling of being watched. The temperature shifts may also be accompanied by the sensation of movement, as if an unseen presence is passing by or standing nearby, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. Animals in the house might react strongly to these temperature changes. Dogs might growl or bark at seemingly empty spaces, while cats could stare intently at an area where the temperature feels unusual, their fur bristling in apparent alarm. These reactions often lend further credence to the perception of a supernatural presence, as animals are traditionally believed to be more sensitive to otherworldly energies than humans. These temperature anomalies might last for seconds, minutes, or even longer, and they can happen sporadically, leaving residents confused and uneasy. Some people describe these experiences as feeling like they have walked through an invisible wall of cold or heat. This sensation can be jarring, especially when it happens in a space they consider safe and familiar. It might be experienced repeatedly in the same spot, almost as if the anomaly is tied to a specific location or object within the home. This sense of localization often leads to speculation about whether the area has historical or emotional significance to the spirit or entity causing the disturbance. There are also instances where individuals feel the temperature change directly on their skin, such as a sudden cold breeze brushing past them, or a warm, almost oppressive air wrapping around their body. These experiences can feel intensely personal and invasive, leaving individuals shaken and questioning the nature of what they just felt. The sensation is often fleeting, but memorable, causing a lasting impression of discomfort or fear. For those who are spiritually or religiously inclined, such phenomena are sometimes interpreted as a sign that the Jinn or other entities are attempting to interact or assert their presence. These entities might be trying to communicate a message or express displeasure, though the intentions often remain ambiguous. The unpredictability of these temperature changes can make it challenging to understand their meaning or cause, adding to the unease they generate. The psychological impact of these experiences can be significant. Even the most rational-minded individuals may find themselves second-guessing their beliefs about the supernatural. The consistent occurrence of unexplained temperature changes can create a sense of vulnerability, making people feel that their home, a place of comfort and security, has become a space of mystery and fear. This sense of violation can be especially pronounced if the anomalies are linked to areas where individuals spend a lot of time, such as bedrooms, living rooms, or workspaces. In some cases, individuals might attempt to document these occurrences using thermometers or infrared cameras, hoping to find a logical explanation. While such tools may occasionally detect measurable temperature differences, they rarely provide a clear reason for the anomalies, deepening the mystery. The inability to pinpoint a rational cause often leaves residents feeling more disturbed, as the scientific tools they rely on fail to explain their experiences. Efforts to resolve these issues often involve spiritual or cultural remedies, such as cleansing rituals, prayers, or the use of protective symbols. These practices are designed to restore balance and remove any negative energies that might be causing the disturbances. Whether or not these measures are effective often depends on the individual's beliefs and the severity of the phenomena. Some people report immediate relief after performing such rituals, while others find that the temperature changes persist, suggesting a more stubborn or complex issue at hand. Ultimately, unexplained temperature changes can profoundly affect those who experience them. Whether attributed to natural causes or supernatural forces, they challenge the boundaries of what we consider normal and rational. These events often serve as a reminder of how deeply intertwined our physical and emotional responses are with the environments we inhabit. For those who suspect a paranormal origin, addressing these occurrences often becomes a journey of self-discovery, faith, and resilience. 10. Recurring nightmares or sleep paralysis. Recurring nightmares or sleep paralysis are often associated with Jinn encounters in various cultural and spiritual beliefs. People experiencing these phenomena describe them as deeply unsettling, with vivid dreams that feel more real than regular nightmares. In such cases, individuals might see shadowy figures, hear whispers, or feel an intense sense of dread. These experiences can leave a lasting impression, even after waking up, as the sensations are so vivid they blur the line between dream and reality. Sleep paralysis in particular is a state where a person wakes up but is unable to move or speak, often accompanied by a heavy pressure on the chest or the sensation of being watched. During such episodes, many have reported seeing shadowy entities, sometimes in humanoid shapes, hovering near their bed. In some cultures, this phenomenon is interpreted as a Jinn attempting to interact with or overpower the person. The paralysis makes the experience even more terrifying, as the individual feels completely helpless and vulnerable. Another aspect of this connection lies in the emotional and psychological impact of these events. People who go through recurring sleep paralysis often develop a fear of sleeping, anticipating the horror of another episode. This fear can grow into a cycle of sleep deprivation, which only worsens the experiences, as a lack of rest can make the mind more susceptible to vivid dreams and hallucinations. In folklore, this is sometimes seen as the Jinn taking advantage of the person's weakened state to increase their influence. The content of the dreams or visions during these episodes can also be telling. Often, the images involve terrifying scenarios, strange landscapes, or interactions with unknown beings. In cultures where the Jinn is a recognized entity, such dreams are interpreted as the Jinn either trying to communicate or assert its presence. This interpretation often depends on the specific nature of the dreams and the context of the individual's life, including recent events or spiritual practices. Physical sensations during these experiences are another unsettling element. Many people describe feeling like they are being touched, dragged, or even suffocated. These sensations are not always painful, but are intensely disconcerting, contributing to the feeling of being in the presence of an unseen force. In cultural narratives, this is sometimes linked to the Jinn trying to establish physical contact or control. Some believe that Jinn-related sleep paralysis or nightmares can be triggered by certain actions or environments. For example, living in a space believed to be haunted or engaging in activities that might inadvertently invite a Jinn are common explanations. These activities could range from dabbling in the occult to neglecting spiritual or protective rituals. Such beliefs emphasize the need for caution and respect toward unseen forces. Spiritual explanations for these experiences often recommend specific remedies or preventive measures. These might include reciting prayers, using protective symbols or talismans, or conducting cleansing rituals to ward off negative entities. In many traditions, these practices are believed to create a protective barrier, making it harder for a Jinn to access or influence the individual. Psychologically, the impact of these episodes can extend beyond the immediate fear. People may begin to associate their home or bedroom with these terrifying experiences, leading to anxiety and stress in everyday life. This can affect relationships, work performance, and overall well-being. In such cases, the Jinn is often blamed for sowing discord and unease in the person's life as part of its supposed agenda. In some interpretations, recurring nightmares or sleep paralysis caused by Jinn are seen as warnings or punishments. The individual may be advised to reflect on their actions, repent, or seek spiritual guidance to understand the reasons behind these experiences. This perspective often aligns with religious teachings that emphasize moral and spiritual discipline as a means to protect oneself. Ultimately, whether viewed through a spiritual, cultural, or psychological lens, these episodes are deeply distressing and can have a profound impact on a person's life. The idea of a Jinn causing such experiences is a reminder of the power of unseen forces in many belief systems and highlights the need for balance between acknowledging the spiritual and seeking practical solutions. If you suspect that a Jinn may be present in your home, the first and most important step is to remain calm. Fear and panic can make the situation feel more overwhelming and, according to various beliefs, might even empower the Jinn further. Maintaining a composed demeanor helps you assess the situation more rationally and take effective steps to address it. Reassure yourself that many such experiences have logical explanations, and even if something supernatural is involved, there are ways to handle it without harm. One common approach across many cultures and traditions is the use of spiritual or religious practices to cleanse the space. Depending on your faith, this might involve reciting sacred texts, prayers, or mantras that are believed to repel or neutralize malevolent entities. For example, in Islamic traditions, reciting verses from the Quran, such as Ayat al-Kursi or the last 3 chapters, is considered powerful for protection. Similarly, other faiths recommend the use of holy water, smudging with herbs like sage, or lighting candles dedicated to spiritual guardians. The key is to remain sincere and consistent in these practices. Seeking help from a knowledgeable religious or spiritual leader can provide additional support. These individuals often have experience dealing with unexplained phenomena and can offer tailored guidance or perform rituals designed to banish negative energies. Consulting someone with expertise can also help determine whether the disturbances are truly supernatural or if other factors, such as psychological stress or environmental issues, might be contributing to the experience. It's essential to choose someone trustworthy and compassionate who respects your beliefs and concerns. Avoid trying to communicate with or provoke the entity, as this can escalate the situation. Many traditions caution against directly acknowledging or challenging Jinn, as this might encourage further interaction. Instead, focus on creating a positive and peaceful environment in your home. Declutter your space, maintain cleanliness, and fill the home with uplifting energy through music, pleasant scents, or acts of kindness. This not only helps discourage negative forces, but also improves your overall well-being. Finally, don't hesitate to consider practical explanations alongside spiritual ones. Strange noises, flickering lights, or odd odors might have logical causes, such as electrical issues, drafts, or nearby construction. Consulting professionals like electricians or pest control experts can rule out mundane explanations, leaving you with clarity on how best to proceed. Whether the disturbances are supernatural or not, taking action to protect your mental and emotional health is paramount. Surround yourself with supportive people and remember that you have the strength to overcome any challenge. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.